Don't give her just. we're waiting on our third member. She's just a couple minutes away. I think she's going to get water. No, sir. We're waiting for one of the members.
Hi, nice to meet you, Martha Hickey. I'm sorry?
It was to be able to see good.
Yeah. Hi, nice. She don't even know me to put that word.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know.
Would you like a water? I got an extra.
And when we have one more member that's coming.
Hi. So nice to see you too. Congratulations on your inauguration.
Thanks. I guess so. We're indoctrinating you. Yeah.
Sir, while we're waiting on that last board member, would you mind checking your mic and we'll just make sure you're loud enough down there?
Yep, can you hear me? Testing? Testing? Testing?
Great. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Where's that even come from? Oh, the guy.
Yeah, Mr. Buck, yeah.
Ariel, I feel a little better. Haven't heard her voice and she's on her way. But still. I took a picture of my watch. My heart racing 114. I'm not like running. Yes. Yes.
You know, I'm still at like
Thanks for your patience, ladies.
1,000-something days now of Wordles.
I don't know, somehow I lost something. I got far less than you, and I was doing it before you.
Yeah, but you crashed like halfway through when we were doing it, and then you had to restart again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
what I'm saying.
lost.
So I've got
Yeah, but you're way faster.
wonderful New York Times.
Yeah, I got it too.
That's always fun to see all those green letters turn over.
We
There's you. Hi there. So sorry, guys.
Okay, we'll get started. This is the meeting of the Public Art Committee on Wednesday, April 9th, beginning at 2:16 PM. Since we have not elected a new chair as yet, Biba had resigned a couple weeks ago, so I will go ahead and conduct the meeting today, and later on today, we will select a chair and a vice chair. Before we get started, I wanted to introduce to the other public art members, our very new member, Martha Hickey. And Martha, if you could kind of tell us a little bit about your background? It is.
I am president of the Tarpon Springs Art Association, which is... Oh, okay. I'm president of the Tarpon Springs Art Association, which is a club that has about 60 members, and we do art exhibits and have demos and, you know, art things, like we had a tent in the Fine Arts Festival. And my background, actually my education and my career background had nothing to do with art. I fell in love with art and photography in Arizona, sitting on a mountaintop on business. I was out there and I took the afternoon off and went, and I was on a mountaintop doing sightseeing and realized I needed a camera, and that was about 20 years ago. And so since then, I have taken photography courses, and I am a photographer, and I do abstract painting. And I really enjoy being president of the Tarpon Springs Art Association because I've met so many wonderful people, and I've learned so much from all the creativity that I'm involved with as being president of the Art Association.
Of course, to your right is Katie Taylor and Don Arbitello as your fellow members. So welcome, Martha. We're really glad to have you. Can we have a roll call of the members, please?
Miss Arbitello? Here. Miss Taylor? Here. Miss Hickey? Here. Miss Wood?
Here. Okay, we have quite a few guests here in the audience. Would you please stand and give us your name? Thank you.
My name is Lisa Benitez. I'm a lifelong resident of Tarpon. And I'm with Sister Cities of Tarpon Springs. I'm the president.
Great, thank you for being here.
Good afternoon. My name is Diane Porter. I've been living in Tarpon all my life. I remember we used to square dance on that stage. And you know what? It was so much fun. It was good fun. But thank you for having me today.
Thank you for being here. And
Oh, I guess we're getting formally introduced. Hi, Joan Jennings, a relatively new resident of Tarpon, 13 years. But I have been on the art committee for 6 years and was chair for most of it until I had to resign for health reasons. But I'm still interested, and I'm looking forward to all the fun and good things you guys are gonna do for the city of Tarpon.
thanks, Joan. And the staff, would you please introduce yourselves?
Brian Graff, Marketing Operations Manager for Tarpon Arts in the city of Tarpon Springs.
I'm Jamie Taylor, Recreation Superintendent. Bob Robertson, Project Administrator, Department Director, and Interim Public Works Director. Ron Gorlick, Inspect for Ed.
And our guest in the back?
Kim Gerby, I work for Parks and Parkway,
Fantastic, thank you. And we have some very special guests today that are going to we're going to be introducing shortly. But I just wanted to bring to your attention that we have 2 meeting minutes to be approved, the November 13th, 2024, and approval of the minutes for January 8th, 2025. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes as written?
I move.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, so we'll get on to our presentation. Very exciting. Cindy Terrapini is here with the artist Jeffrey Smith, and then also on Zoom we have Mr. Richard Buck. So I'll turn it over to Cindy.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wood. Good afternoon. My name is Cindy Terrapini. I've met some of you, but not all of you, so it's really a pleasure to be here today, and we appreciate you taking the time to hear our presentation. I am with Terrapini Planning Strategies. I'm a land use planner. I've been involved with the Morgan Group for quite some time on this project, but today we're here to talk about a public art project. And as you know, a developer has the option of either doing an art project on site or paying the fee in lieu. And Morgan Group has traditionally in their communities added an art project, a public art project to their community, and so they wanted to do that with this site as well. So that's what we're here for today. Joining me today is Jeffrey Smith, who is the artist selected by the Morgan Group, and he'll be speaking in a few minutes. And also on Zoom is Richard Buck. He's the Senior Vice President for Morgan. So if you have any specific questions about Morgan's commitment or their obligation, I'm sure he'd be happy to answer that as well. Just to give you a little bit of background, I believe Ms. Wood will be familiar with this, but probably not the other members. I don't think you all were on the board at the time, but back in February 2022, after the project had been approved, a group of Morgan staff and myself attended the Public Art Committee, and we talked about our proposed location for the public art, which is the same location that is proposed here today, which is at the entrance of the clubhouse. And at that meeting, the committee found that location did meet the requirements to be publicly accessible. We're going to show you some site plans. There are some site plans in your packet as well, but we can talk about that in a minute. But it is in an area that anyone can visit. The artwork will be located outside the clubhouse, so it'll be available 24/7 for anyone who wants to see that artwork. So once the publicly accessible location was approved, Morgan began to develop the concept for public art on the site. And from the very beginning of the design of the apartment project, Morgan's goal was to embrace and preserve the natural features of this 64-acre site located on the Anklet River. We believe it's the largest vacant site in North County that has yet to be developed. One of the most important environmental features that Morgan protected was an eagle nest along the Anklet River. Protecting the eagle nest was just one of many significant features that were protected in this site plan. Just as an example of the entire 64-acre site, only 12 acres will be used for buildings, parking, and other improvements. The balance, the 52-acre balance, will remain as passive, active and open space and recreational amenities. I think I will go to the, I guess we can't go to that till later on, but maybe we can come back to it. But in your packet, you have a drawing. Maybe I could hold it up and so you can see it. There is a drawing that shows the location of the artwork, if you wanted to turn to that. So on the left side of that paper, of that page, is US 19. The southern driveway to the project is shown at the bottom of that page. So you can, the public will be able to come into that driveway, turn into the circular area of parking, and then you see the little red or large red arrow points to a circle to the right of the sidewalk just before you go into the clubhouse. So that entire area is open to the public. So we'd envision folks that are coming for an event, maybe their friends are hosting a party or a baby shower or a wedding shower at the clubhouse or some sort of event, they would be able to see the artwork. Although the site is gated, the gate is way back further. It's about 250 feet east on the property. So it's completely open to the public at the point where the location of where the artwork would be placed. The eagle sculpture will be placed on a pedestal in that location. The artwork is intended to be visible for all pedestrians, so the bottom of the pedestal will be in the 4 to 5 foot range. They're still tinkering with that a little bit. And then the eagle sculpture will go on top of that. So the idea is that people of all ages and all heights will be able to easily enjoy the artwork. We believe the proposed location meets the publicly accessible location since it's outside of the building, available to the general public, and it would be viewed during, the code requires that it be able to be viewed during normal business hours. This artwork obviously will be available 24/7. It will be internally lit from the bottom of the sculpture, so it will be visible every day of the year. As you can see from the submittal, Jeffrey Smith is well qualified as an artist on many large-scale public art projects and private commissions. Also evident from his resume and photographs of his sculptures, he's clearly an artist of serious intent and ability, with many commissions and works in permanent museum collections, including the James Western Museum in downtown St. Petersburg and the Vatican in Rome, Italy. He's also the recipient of many significant art awards. Based on his resume, Mr. Smith clearly meets the definition of artist as described in the Public Art Ordinance. I think you have in your package, you have some wonderful examples of his work that demonstrate that. In summary, the Morgan Group proposes a unique public art installation specifically created for the Anklet Harbor project, located in a publicly accessible site and created by a well-known artist, Mr. Smith. The proposal meets all the requirements for an on-site installation, and we respectfully request today your approval of both the artist and the artwork. Interestingly, eagles have long been a focus of Mr. Smith's work. He's really the perfect match to create this art work for the project. I'm honored now to introduce you to Jeffrey Smith to tell you more about the artwork. And then both of us will be available for questions at the end of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I put together just a little visual to give everybody a little more idea of what we're doing. So if we could play the video, it's about a minute and a half. Or do I?
Austin, could you please play the video? Thank you.
Very exciting video. Well, while we're waiting for that,
Okay.
while we're waiting for that, as Cindy said, what I envisioned was this nest, which, as I understand the history of the project, the Eagles, this made a situation where that property at one point was going to be flattened and turned into a Walmart distribution center. And that got halted and the land's been preserved. And now it's being developed in a way that keeps a lot of the area open and wild, and where these eagles can still thrive along the river. So when Richard Buck came to me and talked to me about the history of this property and what they were doing, I was like, wow, this is really neat, and I wanted to be a part of it. I've sculpted, I've been an artist my whole life since I was like 15 years old, and I love the wilds and protecting the wilds, and I understand there still needs to be a balance between development and conservation. You know, we have to find places for people to live too. And so this was a great project, and I think showing people these eagles up close where they can relate to them is a wonderful thing. Oh, here maybe we're starting off again. We can play it if it's going to work. The eagle, in addition to being our national symbol, is very special to this particular project. It was the nesting eagles that kept the property from being completely developed for a Walmart distribution center. I was very excited when I learned about the work to create an apartment building which incorporated a large natural area and left room for the eagles to come back and nest. And so in that light, I have created this maquette to fulfill the public art requirement of the property. What I envision is a pair of bald eagles, life and a half scale, with their babies on a nest. These will be cast in bronze. All the work on this project will be done by me and my foundry. The eagles will be sculpted in my studio in Stuart, Florida, and they will be cast at my foundry in Loveland, Colorado. I have sculpted a number of eagles, not only for many of our private clients, but quite a few for the State Department that have been used as diplomatic gifts all over the world. I'm the unofficial eagle sculptor for our country. So that's a piece that's in progress that hasn't been patinaed yet, but that's a life and a half scale eagle coming and landing on a big oak tree. To give an idea of the scale, I've brought this sculpture, and this is life and a half scale. So this will be the size for our sculpture of the eagle head. This is pretty close to the scale of it. And you can also, it also gives you an idea of the quality of my work and the detail. That maquette is very, very rough. That's just a very rough three-dimensional sketch to kind of get an idea of what the piece is going to look like. In addition, I've drawn out the eagles at scale. So this will be the scale of the eagles. Sometimes it's difficult when you say something's going to be 30 inches tall. It's like, well, how big is that? You know, I mean, those are life and a half scale eagles are pretty big birds.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wow.
And incidentally, we just found out a very similar sculpture to the one you have here was just presented to the incoming president of Namibia last week, which was very exciting. The first female president of the country of Namibia. So.
Do any of the committee members have any questions for Mr. Smith?
Beautiful piece.
It is gorgeous. It is beautiful.
How much would this weigh? How much did,
That's about 17 pounds.
I mean, the one that's gonna sit in front of the entrance?
Well, no one's going to be able to pick it up and walk away with it. No, but it'll be bolted down. They're hollow, so they don't weigh as much as you would think, but it'll be several hundred pounds. You know, maybe 250, 350 pounds. And then it'll be bolted into the base, so it won't be going anywhere.
And of course, you know, as we have the other public art projects on the tarponarts.org website, we would include this one as well. So that'll be another, and then we would include it in our social media. So it'll be another way for the public to find, you know, and view the sculptures too, so.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a motion to accept the proposed sculpture for the Morgan Group?
I move to accept it.
Do I have a second? Can I have a roll call, please, for a vote?
Ms. Sarvatello? Yes. Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Ms. Hickey?
Yes.
Great. Thank
Unanimous.
you. We're looking forward to seeing the final product. Thank you so much. It's going to be beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, let's see. Oh, that is gorgeous. The detail is amazing.
Oh, bronze. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. You're going to be bringing some wonderful credentials to the public art at City of Tarpon Springs. Thank you.
Thank you. I love doing this. This is my life, and this is going to be a great project. I'm excited. In addition, I have a lot of public work, as you see in Stewart, and we've been through lots of hurricanes, so they go through all that.
Good, good, good. Thank you very much.
Have a safe flight back.
Okay, thank you, yes.
Thank you. So we'll move on to old business. Megan, can you give us an update on the budget and any developer contributions?
Yes. There is a developer contribution of $13,500 was contributed to the fund by North Lake Estates subdivision site. So the revenues through April 9th, 2025 are $15,234, which brings the projected balance to $189,218.
Thank you. On to some new business. I'm going to go ahead and take the opportunity to just move the relocation of the sculpture currently at the Citizens Alliance for Progress up so that we can allow our staff to get back to their offices. And so, Katie, do you want to go ahead and give us an overview of, what your committee has found?
Well, we met with City Manager Rudd and the Parks Department on Monday night at the library, and they are here to give us a presentation on the three areas that we were looking at, and we're going to go back to the community to get another meet with the community to see if they're okay with what the city bring us today.
So, as far as the PAC members go, this is in your package of information, and these are the three sites that they're going to be discussing right now. And this is for the Stephen Oliver sculpture that is currently at the CAP Center on Martin Luther King.
Good afternoon. Wasn't planning to make a presentation, but I'll walk you through what we've got here. My name is Bob Robertson. I'm the Project Administration Department Director and the Interim Public Works Director, lucky me. So after Ms. Taylor, what she said was correct. We met with the council on Monday evening, and we walked through 6-7 options for the relocation of this sculpture from the CAP Center over to Dorset Park. And of the 7, they narrowed it down to 3, and those are the 3 the printouts that you have in front of you. I'll walk you through those real quick. So the first one, it says option 2 on it in the upper right, looks like a football. This matches the current configuration of the installation over at the CAP Center. And the idea here was to utilize some of the existing sidewalk on the east side, which is the top of the image there. And what you see there is the red lines indicates the panels from that installation. And then in the dark gray border around it, that's a sidewalk that would be installed so that it could be accessible and viewable all the way around it. Let me go through all 3 of them, and then if you have questions, I'll make somebody else answer them. I'm kidding. Okay, so option 6, the next one, that's this one that looks like a hexagon. It says option 6 in the upper right side there. Here we're reconfiguring the alignment just a little bit so that it's more of a roundish structure that matches the intent of the hooker basket, I think was the intent of this. Ms. Taylor had explained that to us. So we made an attempt to put an option together that did that. And you'll see the sidewalk goes all the way around it again. We've moved it off of the edge of the building, so there's a little bit more sidewalk space And in this option, we have to relocate the fence that's existing there to make room for it. And then the last one, this one is option 7. It doesn't say that on it, but it's the one that looks like the triangle. And what we've done here is we've taken the 6 panels and we've matched them up. We've paired them up back to back. So the same size panels will be installed of course, in a vertical configuration. But what we've done here is created a situation where the art installation can be viewed around the outside and on the inside. So the panels that are on the inside, we might even look at putting a bench or something in there. So you could sit and take it all in, at least 3 panels at once, and then walk around the outside and get 3 panels. So these were the 3 that we came up with. I will also indicate to you that there is a tree I think it's a fir tree. It was an old Christmas tree, I believe, that was planted. That's gonna have to get relocated. Parks has told us that they can spade that tree and move it to another location. So probably inside the fence going to the south a little bit. So that kind of summarizes that. If I missed anything, you guys raise your hand and tell me what I missed.
So
You
then,
guys come up and
excuse me,
talk.
Bob, the triangle one, that would all be concrete, the gray area, correct?
That's how we're showing it. It could be grass, and then we'd have to mow inside it and everything. I will point out, and I'm glad you mentioned the configuration. One thing that we were trying to avoid with this triangle configuration was what is known as an attractive nuisance, where you create this enclosed area on the other 2 options that might tempt someone to climb over it. You know, the kids are out in this area all the time with the park and the playground. So the open configuration would eliminate that. Well, I shouldn't say eliminate. Maybe it's less tempting to climb it because there's nothing to get in. You don't have a goal to get inside. You can just walk right inside this version. So I did want to point that out. But there is a gate, of course, in this configuration, in all the, even existing one now, so you can get in and maintain it, and we can mow it. That wouldn't be a problem. It's more just preventing the temptation of vandalism and climbing and all that.
Great.
Ms. Taylor, did I catch everything from the
Yes.
meeting on Monday that you wanted me to capture?
Yes, you did, but on that 3rd one, on the sitting part on the inside, I thought there was concern about people going in there sleeping and.
Oh, yeah, that is another one.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
vagrants, so,
yeah. So this open configuration would make that a little less tempting too, I think. Because now there's no place to hide. You can see inside it from all directions.
And that's number 7 that you're talking about, the open?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Also wanted to mention that all 3 of them are located, very close to the mural that's existing there too, which is nice. So it would be all in one area.
The Dorset
You're gonna
Park
extend
corner.
the sidewalk or something too, right? You're gonna maneuver with the sidewalks, you have enough space on the sidewalks to walk in front of the mural without it interfering with the structure.
I think you can already do that, right? I think there's a sidewalk around the building
There's a
now.
sidewalk around the
Yeah.
building, but I think 2 and 6 was closer to the sidewalk.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, yeah, you're right. So, Ms. Taylor, I'm not sure, maybe you want to give your board some guidance on what you were seeking to get from this board today, if you were looking for a decision or a recommendation or just the thoughts of this board.
Well, I wanted to get their consensus on what we're trying to do is move it to Dorset Park, and this is an area that we're gonna take it back to the community to decide which structure do they want to use. It sounds like we're gonna try to go toward recommending number 7 due to the safety and of the kids and things. But I also wanted to mention that the structures, the way they have them, is the same as it would be on the corner. They just had to reconfigure it, so it's not, the integrity of the artwork has not been hampered. So,
So Katie, you would like to get, some feedback from the Public Art Committee today, and then you're going to then take this to the community again, and then it'll come back to the Public Art Committee, is that correct?
yes.
Okay, yeah, so does anybody want to comment on their preference or what their thoughts on it?
Before y'all decide that, I wanted to ask about the structure itself, because on the, I know the old one, it didn't get lighting. So now we discussed putting lighting around the base of it. So that's something we want to move forward with too, if we move it. Right now, the current one don't have lighting and it don't have footing, right? So the lighting and the footing will be added.
What do you mean by footing?
I guess this one here is all concrete, the number 7.
Yes.
So there would just be lighting around the bottom of it, so nobody can get in. If it was one that they can walk in, then we were saying we really was kind of concerned about people being able to walk in there. But if they didn't have a walk-in, could they put something in there like the boulders and the sponges to show that it's an actual sponge, it held sponges? So improvise on what to put in the middle of it.
Okay, I hadn't heard that. So you're saying if we went with option 2 or 6, you'd want to put some additional, something in the middle to discourage people from climbing into it?
Climbing into it. But if we go with number 7, I think that's the one that Jamie was leaning toward. Pardon? Right, because it's a corral and it held sponges. So if you're gonna put something in there, not plants, it would be sponges. Some kind of way, if you don't want to have one that walk in where people walk in. So it would kind of be up to, I don't know if it's up to the community to decide whether you want to have one to walk in, but if it's not safe, then we don't want to vote on something and have it, we can't have it because it would be a deterrent.
Well, I don't think safety is a huge concern in terms of really any of these. It's just that if we wanted to avoid the temptation of people trying to climb it, then we wouldn't want to have one that's completely enclosed. And you're saying, well, if you filled it up with something in the middle, that might discourage that. I'm not sure I would agree with that because I think that you put a fence, something that looks like a fence, and it's painted all pretty colors, it's gonna be a temptation, I think, whether there's something in the middle or not. In fact, if you put something in the middle, it might be even more tempting for a kid to want to go find out what's in there, you know. I personally like the open configuration because it does allow a line of sight. You can always see inside it. You can see who's in there. Your idea for the lighting is great. I think we probably should include some lighting when we do the relocation. And you can do that on the inside and should do that on the inside and outside. So having it well lit on all sides would also be a deterrent.
Of course, we could also add signage, you know, to explain things, but I think too, you know, there's a playground there, so, and it's used for lots of games and different, you know, there's lots of sports going on there as well, so I think just from a safety deterrent, you know, in the school right across the street, I mean, it's probably the open, you know, design is a little bit safer from my perspective, but what do the other PAC members think? What do you think, Martha?
Well, I think from the safety standpoint, I agree that the open plan would be better. And I think that it would be easier for people to observe it and walk around it and be able to appreciate it more than with it being enclosed.
Dawn?
I agree that the open concept would probably be less problematic as far as the interaction with, you know, the public who's around there. My concern is that the integrity of the art piece is lost because it's supposed to be a corral. Has anyone talked to Stephen about reconfiguring?
Yes.
You have?
Yes, Stephen this has been discussed with him, but that's what I was saying. Just because the structure looked like it's changed, it hasn't. It's just been reconfigured to fit the location. So this is the same corral, it's the same thing. It's nothing that he did changes. It's just they took it out of one spot and put it in another.
But it's not in the shape of a corral anymore.
But no, it wasn't the shape of a corral over at Martin Luther King. It was configured to fit in the space that they had there. So that I don't want to call it a ditch, but that drainage ditch that is sitting over, he configured that to fit over the drainage ditch. So it wasn't, a corral is a little bit more rounder. I think if we look at a corral, it's not shaped like that one over on MLK. So we're trying to stay within what he had. So when they take it apart, they're putting it right back together, but they have to, all the measurements have to, like a fit, they had to do a puzzle to make it fit.
Okay.
So the integrity of his work is not changing.
Okay, as long as he's been a part of that discussion and he's fine with that configuration.
And I've
then-
invited Stephen to the meetings as well. I
Okay.
called him personally.
Okay.
Invited him to the first one.
Great.
I tagged him on all the meeting that we was gonna have. He couldn't make it. But I think he had a conversation with, Mr. Stackhauser. And Mr. Stackhauser conveyed his information. But we did give him an opportunity to come to all of our meetings. He just decided not to come.
Okay. Yeah, that was my only concern, is that, you know, in changing a configuration, we're changing the meaning of the artwork. And if the artist has been a part of that, then who am I? You know, as long as he feels like the integrity is still there, then I'm good with it.
So Katie, what is the timeframe for going back to the community? Have you set up like a date that's good for them?
I have to check with City Manager Rudd to see when he's gonna be available first.
Okay.
Then I'll check with David to see if the Union Academy will be available. And then Zell will put out announcements to all the community.
That sounds good.
So,
Well, I did have one other question. Is this city property?
Yes.
This is city property. Excellent.
It's at Dorset Park, so
Okay.
the city owns, you know, all of
Okay.
that. And so that's where our Public Works Department and, you know, others will be involved, you know, with doing the moving and everything.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
I would like to ask another question though. When, on this number 7, the outside is where all the pictures are gonna be out, within the triangle, cause that's concrete, but then that double line inside, is that where the pictures are gonna be?
Yeah, it would be the panels back to back.
Oh, okay, so both sides will have pictures on them?
Yeah,
There we go.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
No?
Okay, great. Well, we look forward to, okay, Jamie?
You go to that one. I get this one.
Jamie Taylor, Recreation Superintendent. Initially, the discussion was to bring this back to the community members, get their consensus, and then bring their recommendation to Parks and Rec Advisory Board for them to write a letter to the BOC. I was just hearing earlier a piece of bringing it back to public art. So for me, if there's an agreement here with your group, I would suggest let's get back with the community and then have them, and then make that suggestion to Parks and Rec Advisory Board to give to the BOC to keep things moving, but that's just my piece there.
So are we right now deciding which of these 3 that we're going to present to the community, or is the community going to be looking at all 3?
The community gonna be looking at all 3. But being that we've met and we talked about it, we're gonna encourage the open concept.
Okay.
Well, let's just go ahead and take a vote of the members. Katie, you want to make a motion to go ahead and select the triangular option?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to accept the triangular option of option number 7.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Can we take a vote, please?
Ms. Arbitello?
Yes.
Ms. Arbitello?
Yes.
Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Ms. Hickey?
Yes.
Great, we look forward to hearing what the community has chosen to. All right, now we have to get to the election. Thank you all for your input, appreciate it.
Thank you. My apologies for holding you guys up. Sorry about that.
Okay, so based on our ordinance, we are supposed to elect a chair and a vice chair at our January meetings, and because we had to cancel that meeting, and our next meeting was April, here we are. So I will say that the chair will do what I'm doing now, is just running the meeting, and then the vice chair is backup in case the chair is absent for any reason. And the way that we're currently run is with Robert's Rules of Order and, just making motions and accepting and then taking votes and everything. So the chair would be in charge of doing that. So do I have any interest from anyone? Do you want to toss your hat, so to speak, into becoming chair? Anyone?
I do.
Dawn? Okay. Anybody else? Okay. No. Anybody else? You can if you want to.
Buddy, feel free.
No, you're it. Okay.
All right.
Please.
And I mean, even though y'all are, well, Dawn's been here the longest, but, you all are Katie's second, and then, Martha's brand new, but, you all are very, competent to serve as chair, so whatever.
Well, I would like to
don't be chair.
nominate Katie to be vice chair.
Well, let's get the
Okay.
chair out first.
Okay.
Okay, so, all in favor of, electing Dawn as the president, the chair of, the Public Art Committee, please, raise your hand. Okay, all right.
3
So
yeses.
accepted. And so the vice chair, do I have a nomination for that?
I nominate Katie Taylor.
And is there any other interest?
Put your head up.
Right.
And Martha is throwing her hat in as the vice chair too, so, let's see, so let's go ahead and talk about, let's take a vote on everybody in favor of Katie as vice chair. Raise your hand.
But before you take that, I don't have a problem with her being vice chair. I just want to serve on this board and I work on other committees, so if one of them are out, then hey.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
All right, so
is it succeed?
so Katie's saying, all right, I'll pass for right now. We might be tapping you again later on, never
Right.
will. All right, so all in favor of Martha as vice chair, raise your hand. Okay, great.
3 yeses.
Thank you. All right, very good, thank you. All right, so this comes to our PAC meetings. You all in the fall had changed to quarterly meetings. And I was wondering if there was an interest in going back to monthly meetings, or did you want to keep them quarterly? Please, it's open for discussion.
Well, I'd like to say we've got a lot of catching up to do, so I would like to move back to monthly meetings if the three of us can, make the commitment to be here, because if one of us isn't here at this point, then it's going to be wasted. So, anybody have any comments?
I would like to mention that I'm not around a lot during the summertime. So at this particular time, that might be a little difficult for me.
Okay.
And I had mentioned that before, so.
Okay.
I think you could miss 2 meetings, if they're excused and things like that, so we can.
Yeah, but we wouldn't
discuss
have a quorum. We wouldn't be able to get anything done
Well,
anyway.
that will give us all the impetus to recruit new members.
I've been trying.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I mean,
So
that's not
should
until
we-
when? Until when, do you leave, like in June, July, August?
I know for sure I'll be gone in June and August. And maybe I'll be home some in July, so, yes.
So it's April, so we've got May, and you said June? You'll be gone?
I'll be gone in June,
June, okay.
definitely, and pretty much August.
Okay.
So we could probably meet next month in July.
Well, I mean, I think.
I'll be here for that.
Let's
Do you wanna do
hope
regular?
that we get more members,
Yeah.
I mean, that's our goal, because if we go back to monthly, we'll work it out, and so.
Okay.
But, because I know I have other obligations too, so, but I want to make sure that, can we stick with quarterly for now until we get other people and then go back to monthly? Because if she's not going to be available, it's gonna be like hit and miss.
It's true. It's true. I mean, it was fortunate that we got, Martha on board for this meeting, and that was by the skin of our teeth. So, I mean, we can stay at quarterly for, the interim, if you want to, just, so maybe then things will open up and we'll get more members by fall. That's what I'm hoping.
Okay.
And then, that way you can really kind of hit the road, street, running. So I know we have a lot of things left that we need to, still talk about and, get on board, but, it is an issue with, the membership. And like you said, it's like if we're missing one person or if somebody's ill or whatever, it's like we don't have a quorum.
Right.
And it would have been very unfortunate today with a big presentation, not to have just, he come from Stuart, Florida,
Oh, my goodness,
so,
yes.
yeah, so, anyway, so I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for being here and being part of the committee, but we do need to recruit some more people, and I'm working on it too.
Okay, so we're saying quarterly now, and then we'll revisit in October?
Yes, I think that's a good plan. And, that way, the hurricane season, knock on wood, will be over, and, you can really get some work done. There are some public art projects, that are in the hopper that, we really need to start addressing. One of them is the illuminated art boxes
Right.
and things. That's been, they've been up for quite a long time. I will tell you that they did change them from solar. They've connected them to the electrical poles that are there.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be good for sustaining them, especially with the hurricanes and things like that.
Yeah.
So, that's a project that we need to bring back soon. And then, of course, getting this sculpture moved and everything. So,
Yeah.
and I know that there were some other things that you all were interested in, but I think, in my opinion, that's a good plan to stay quarterly now, until we could get some more members.
Well, and if nobody objects, maybe I could start moving forward with the illuminated art boxes in the meantime, since we're gonna have the quarterly still, and just kind of get that moving.
Sure.
And I can get the materials for that, because I'd really like to get that in motion.
Okay.
And then, that'll give me time to kind of get acclimated to that, and then we can meet in July and go
Okay.
forward from there.
Sounds good. And just, if you have, remember, just communicate directly with me instead of copying everybody on the committee because of the sunshine laws. So, but if you got ideas or different things, just, always just email me directly. Does anybody have any other questions about today's meeting at all, or any concerns?
Not today's meeting, but I do have one for, I guess, kind of old business, where Parks, I had made a suggestion to work with Parks to do a mural on the building.
Right.
But Jamie was telling me they're getting ready to redo the whole building, so that project is gonna be set aside for a while.
Well, that'll be good to know, especially, I know that the new city manager has a lot of new initiatives, and now with the new incoming mayor too, I'm sure there's gonna be lots of different projects, so, that'll be good too. Another good reason to wait until the fall when things kind of are settled a little bit more and we know what projects are going on, and then you all can, better choose where you want to spend your time with the new projects and everything, so.
When they do the building, I'd still like to go back to the
Oh,
project.
sure.
But for now,
Oh,
it's
sure,
just.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in the meantime, if I wanted to communicate, progress or whatever, I would email you, and then you would send it out to
Yes,
everybody. Got it.
correct, yeah. So that's it, just email me, and then and say, please share this with the public, art members, and so, and I'll do that. And that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
Okay, staff comments. Megan, do you have anything?
Welcome, Martha.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so this is a different setup for us, huh? From now on, we will be up in our second floor meeting room, but this was kind of fun, acting like a board of commissioner,
Big
and a
shots.
mayor. Yeah, here we go.
In the mayor's seat.
Do we have any public comments?
Hi, Joan Jennings, 2204 Pine Drive. First, Martha, welcome. It's wonderful to see you up there, and it's especially wonderful to get representation from the Tarpon Springs Art Association.
Thank you.
Dawn kind of jumped over what I was going to say next, which was about the art boxes, that they really need some help. And since I'm not a member of the committee, I can help you,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Okay. And I do have I think Graham also left all of the instructions and what's necessary to get them.
I don't have that. He gave it back to me, but I gave it back to him when he decided he was going to take it back.
Okay.
And then he,
I'm sure we can.
then he left, yeah.
We
I'm
can
sure.
get it back. Also, I still have some concerns about moving the Stephen Oliver sculpture. It was brought to this committee attention before, but there is a United States law called the Visual Rights Act of 1990 about altering artwork. I know the city bought it, the city owns it, but Stephen still has certain intellectual rights. And I think to protect the city, you have to get some sort of permission in writing from Stephen to do what you want with it. You know, I know there's been mention of polling the community about the different options, but I'd just like to know if the community was ever polled about moving it in the first place. And also, I'm glad that you're going to do signage and also the much-needed brochure that was never done in the first place. That really created a lot of lapses with the piece. Thank you.
Thanks, Joan. Anybody else? All right, so, thank you. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, July 9th at 2 p.m. upstairs, and adjournment time is 3:08 p.m.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank